It's the Unhappy Hour.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, Kentucky, Louisville to be specific. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Unhappy Hour here on the TNAM network, because the news always matters. My name is Brian Engelman, and I am your host, as I have been for the past 9 or so years. Guess what? Guess what? The Browns are legitimate. The Browns are good. The Browns have done what 9-3 teams do. Let's break down what that is. The Cleveland Browns beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. Like all of them. The Cleveland Browns win a lot of the games against the teams that you're on an even level with. And the Cleveland Browns got beat by a combination of teams, mostly teams we weren't on par with yet, and we lost one that we were on par with. So we obviously lost that Raider game. The weather was inclement conditions. The weather was trash. We could have done better. Fine. We didn't. So we didn't get that win. That was a learning experience. You know, it's looking like we're legitimately better than the Ravens. And of course, the Steelers are undefeated. So we're in the conference with the Steelers. So we're fighting for that wild card spot. Not to say we're fighting for it. We're sitting there nice in the catbird seat, the best view, the top of the wild card spots. We're sitting there with 9 wins. The third most wins. Is it the second most wins now? Hang on, let me go across the league and look at the statistics. Let me pull this up. But the Browns are in fantastic shape. As a Cleveland fan, you always wait for the other shoe to drop. You're not really certain. Lost your sound? It's back. What's up, Mark? What's up, Brian? What's up, Alex? Okay, really quick. If you're watching on this camera, thank you. Please click subscribe to the YouTube link. Facebook, there's a private group called The Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. Follow it. And there's another one called Strictly Browns, powered by The Unhappy Hour. Follow it. Instagram, The Unhappy Hour. On Twitter, The Unhappy Hour _. So follow us on all these places. And also thenewamericanmedia.com. That's the flagship. Because I love you here on Facebook, but Facebook doesn't love me. I've been banned twice without any explanation, without any reason, without any opportunity to remedy any alleged issue. So I miss you. Join me on all of the platforms. Just take a minute, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We're going to do a parlor just for sports. We already have a parlor for the New American Media, but we'll do them for sports. So here, let's take a look real quick across the NFL in the standings. I could break you down play by play of this game, and I will get into some of that, but I mean, this is mainly time to press pause and get an overview and figure out where we're at right now. Let's see the forest for the trees, however that phrase is. We have 9 wins. That's the second most in the AFC. The second most wins in the AFC. And we're past Thanksgiving. We're into December. What was it? 1994 is the last time the Cleveland Browns started off 9-3. I'll tell you what, when you start 9-3, you now enter a territory where a lot of teams who started 9-3 have been to the Super Bowl, have even won Super Bowls. Let's break it down specifically. We're in rare air, and it feels good. And you know what also feels good? It feels good knowing that we haven't played our best game yet. We haven't played a full game yet. We haven't had it going on all sides of the ball. We haven't played error-free football. I want to break down the very first series with Baker Mayfield leading the Cleveland Browns offense. Browns start off yesterday against the Tennessee Titans. By the way, so many storylines here. Let me start off by saying this. It was last season that I bought into the hype. I bought a Baker Mayfield jersey, and I don't buy jerseys. I got a Baker Mayfield jersey. I even, in my fantasy dynasty football league, and by the way, for the Unhappy Hour fans, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some dynasty football leagues. Obviously, I couldn't do one this season because Facebook just pretended I didn't exist as a human like they do in the gulags. Anyway, but what I'm thinking would be fun is to get a pod of your favorite 10 people together and do a dynasty league. I love the dynasty leagues. I'm with a group of friends, and we do the dynasty football. And then you have a chance to draft and then make trades. Hi, Nimbus. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. They all had their dinner time, so now they're hanging out, if you will. But I traded for Baker Mayfield. I had to give up 2 number ones and a number 2. It was a steep price, and I overpaid for him. And then he goes out, was garbage last year, but so was the offensive line, and so was the coaching, to be fair. And it's been rough, but then this season, look at what he did yesterday. Obviously, with the bad weather games, we're a running team. We're a run-first team. We're going to run it. Yes, Derrick Henry and the Cleveland Browns, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. It's going to be a running game. Well, guess what? It wasn't. It was a passing game. Pass. And it worked. That's what good coaches do. When you anticipate that the other team is going to think that you're going to do nothing but run, hey, that's a great time to pass, especially when it's working. Let's talk about that opening drive. I still didn't get to my point about buying into it. I got 2 conflicting points here, and I didn't have time to storyboard the show and write it out. I apologize. I'll do better next time. So the 2 points. We'll get back to the first drive. You remember the first drive. And if you followed on Instagram, I already did a story on it. I explained it, did a quick take, talked about it. Follow us there and make sure you find it. Last year I bought in. I bought a jersey. I traded for Baker in Dynasty. I was a believer. If I was a music fan of pop, I'd be a believer. I bought in, all in on the Cleveland Browns. So excited. Got my brother involved. My brother and I went to a Browns game. We've never been to a Browns. No. We were once against the Cardinals back before I moved to Los Angeles with them in 2005. Got my brother to go to a football game. So excited. Opening game. Finally have a roster. So excited. We got whomped. We got curb stomped. This was like American History X. The Browns were smashed by the Tennessee Titans last year. I didn't forget. And so when the Browns came out to the lead that they had yesterday, what was it? 38 to. Once again, sorry, I don't have it storyboarded, but hung up 38 points on them. That would have been the equivalent of 76 points if you extrapolated that game. Of course, and we can talk about the Browns' struggles in the second half. I'm not even gonna focus on that. That's a thing. That's areas for improvement. This is the first year Baker's had with Stefanski. It's the first year that the O-line has had with Stefanski. We have new offensive linemen from Jedrick Wills to Jack Conklin. We have new players in place, and we can get better. We can get more cohesive, more consistent, and we don't need to have mental lapses in the second half. But I'm not going to dwell on what we didn't do perfect in that second half. You don't need to do a lot. When you get up 38 to whatever, you can just slowly lean, and you slowly lean. And you slowly lean. In that pressure, it'll take the tree down. You don't need to do much. You're up by 20, whatever. You just lean. And now, of course, this game somehow got out of control, down to 1 possession. You never want to see that. Back to last year, I didn't forget what the Titans did to us, and this felt good. This felt real good as payback. And I was talking to a friend, and I said, yeah, this is the beauty of sports. This is where you can be vindictive. You can be petty. You can be... let's just leave it at vindictive and petty. You know what I'm getting at. I really hoped we were going to hang 70 points on them for what they did. Because it was the catalyst. What happened last year in Game 1 was the catalyst for a disaster. There's no way the talent on that team last year should have had the record that it had, but it did. Can't undo it. But you have to admit that getting whomped the way that we did, there were repercussions. There was a residual effect that lasted the entire season and tarnished the whole season because of it. So kudos to the Browns for avenging what happened last year. I was listening to one report where they said a lot of the players, they've carried the frustration, the bitterness, the disappointment, the anger from last year into this season, and they should, because last year was an abomination. Last year was the most disappointed I've ever been as a Cleveland Browns fan, and I flew back to Ohio to film a documentary called Football Equals Family, the story of the Cleveland Browns' perfect season parade, or perfect winless season parade. I forget exactly how I had it. But my alarm is going off downstairs. Do I get it, or do I finish the show? Okay, here, let me read some comments, and then I do have to go get that, and I'll pause and I'll bring this out. Lost your sound, sound's back. Cool. What's up, Adam? We were 15. Yeah, I know. It was 1994. We were 15, Adam. Chad, what's up, Chad? I do have to go turn this alarm off. Type in, here's my question of the day, and I'll be right back. I'll edit this in post-production. Give me one reason why the Browns have turned it around. What is your number one reason? Type it in the thing real quick. I got to go turn this alarm off downstairs. I'll be back in 30 seconds. All right. So the Browns have carried that with them, and I'm glad that they have. Also, though, you got to put it in the past. There's nothing you can do about the past. That's in life. That's in sports. It's in everything. Sometimes you can think back to moments you regret, moments you could have done better, moments you couldn't have squandered opportunities, moments you could have prepared harder, more focused, could have taken things more seriously. It's in hindsight. Those emotions you get with hindsight. You understand it. That's fine. You can't dwell on it. And this is what I talk to, there's been so much talk about, well, I don't really need to go down that rabbit hole, but there's a windshield when you're driving down the freeway, and then there's the rear view mirror. So you got this little rear view mirror, and you got a big windshield. If you focus on the windshield, you can pay attention to where you're driving. That's safe, that's smart, that's reasonable. If you spend all your time looking in that little box behind you, it's going to be detrimental. You could go off the road. You could cause a crash. Frankly, why? You're going in that direction. You're not going back there. You can't fix back there. You can't undo what happened back there. And really, that is a point that I've made in Agree to Disagree shows, probably when talking with Larry Elder and others, when we've broken down. There's been a lot of talk about race relations in this country, and in 2020, I'm one of those people that believe America is a fantastic place. I'm not going to bash this country by any means. I love this country. I love the opportunities. I love what we are now versus where we have been. I understand what's in that rearview mirror. I've studied it. I've heard it ad nauseum. I wasn't there. I didn't do it. I can't do anything about it. Today, on the windshield, looking forward, I think we got a great place. I think we have a lot of amazing opportunity and potential. So it's important to glance up there from time to time and just kind of keep an eye on your surroundings and recalibrate and balance. But the Cleveland Browns, it was good to have that rearview mirror there and remember where they couldn't get things right, where they were failing, where they were falling. And Chad over here in the comments, he's saying run first identity is what he would attribute the Browns' successes to. Well, yes. I'll say that you have a lot of opportunity to win a game. You have a lot of opportunities to win many games when you're a run-first team, especially when you have the best running attack in the league. Because you can just, like I said, you lean on the tree. You've chopped half of it, now you just apply a little pressure. You just lean. Eventually it cracks. Eventually you get those big runs. Eventually you wear the other defense out. But now let's go back to the opening drive. And I think it said a lot. Go back to that drive. First drive. The Cleveland Browns offense that you saw in that first drive was the Cleveland Browns offense that we've been waiting to see this whole time. And yes, we've had moments against the Cowboys, moments against the Bengals. But you saw it all come together on that first drive. It was methodical. It felt inevitable. It felt smooth. It felt focused. It felt deadly. The weapons that the Browns have on this team are deadly good. We should scare everybody in the league when the conditions aren't inclement, raining and snowing and gale force winds. The Browns put it all together. Marched downfield, culminating in a Baker Mayfield touchdown to Donovan Peoples-Jones. At least it should have. So we were reminded, unfortunately, that the Browns do still have a ways to go. That was the easiest touchdown you'll see. Over the middle, Donovan Peoples-Jones, a little slant right across the middle, has it, in for the touchdown. He stone-handed it. And then after that, there was a holding call. We had to settle for a field goal. You don't win games by kicking field goals. You win games by winning games. You win games with touchdowns. That's what it's going to take to win games in the NFL, especially against the good teams. So even in yesterday's win, obviously we stalled out and got probably too conservative in the second half. I'll acknowledge that. Obviously, that first drive, we left points on the field. And man, did Baker have a lot of people dropping his passes. Good passes. No reason to drop them. We saw it several times. But they got the win, 41-35. So let me look at the stats here real quick. Or at least the highlight. No, I don't need this to autoplay. Oh, I can watch it autoplay. Nice touchdown pass to Jarvis Landry over the middle. I mean, that was a nice, important one. I mean, he zoomed it this far out of the outstretched arms of the middle linebacker. Hey, how about Kendrick Lamb? What's his name? Lamb? Kendall Lamb. Sorry, Kendrick. Kendall Lamb. Big old lineman catching a touchdown. What I loved seeing was that they went right back. Browns were up 17-7. They went back to Donovan Peoples-Jones, who had a great double move. Slow motion, he does a stutter, cuts out. I mean, that defensive back bit on it. I mean, he's got a good 5 yards of separation the whole touchdown run after the catch. And Baker doing his famous happy dance all the way down. And then another deep touchdown pass in the corner, the right pylon of the end zone to Rashard Higgins. Great pass. Baker's always had good camaraderie, good connections with him. So it's nice to see Rashard Higgins back in the lineup. It feels really good. Cody Parkey has established and solidified that position. You know, he has taken a weakness and turned it into a, maybe I won't call it a strength just yet, but if you're not thinking about ways to complain about your kicker, then you're probably doing something right. If you're complaining, it's because they missed one or more. We didn't do that. So now we're in a position asking the inevitable question, is Baker Mayfield going to get that contract extension? Does he deserve it? Is this an anomaly game? Or, you know, Baker only plays good against the Bengals, and then he's an average, middle-of-the-road quarterback is what they tell you. I have seen enough to know Baker has not reached his potential by far. We're, 5 games now without an interception? We can talk about his fumble. That was stupid. That was dumb. And in a way, that fumble didn't hurt us because we won the game. But now we can't be too full of ourselves. We can't puff our chest up too high and believe the hype. Yep, we're for real. 9 wins. Only the Chiefs and Steelers have more in our conference. I think it's good because it will balance you and say, no. Yes, we did a lot of things right. We got them right because we knew how to do them. There's a few things we need to clean up because we didn't get them right. That causes you to focus on that in practice. That causes you to focus on it in the game room. And it really recalibrates yourself to say, you know, until I can play perfect football, there's room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. But I mean, just look at the distribution. This is the thing, you know, back to talking about fantasy football and dynasty leagues that I do. If you're interested in dynasty football league, type below and let me know if we can get 10 people together. I would love to join some more dynasty leagues and maybe bail out of the yearly, maybe. But I'm thinking pods of 10 would be good. But the thing about Baker Mayfield compared to other quarterbacks is, you know, you can see games where Deshaun Watson will feed a receiver. It's not just Deshaun Watson. We could go to a lot of quarterbacks, but, you know, I guess when you have not Parker. Who am I thinking of? DeAndre Hopkins. There we are. DeAndre. DeBrian. That'd be a good name. DeBrian. Like De Beers. when you have a super talented receiver, there can become this thing, this tendency to feed them. Feed the beast, feed the beast, feed the beast. And we do have to wonder if the Odell Beckham supernova, which is he, partially led to Baker's struggles last year and this year, trying to overfeed the beast. Look at what we did yesterday. I saw this from Baker in season 1. We're in what now? Season, that was 1. Last year was 2. This year is 3. So we got a 4th-year option coming up. Baker really got better when Beckham went out. Does that mean we're a better team without Beckham? Right now, yes. In reality, no. And what I mean by that is, by figuring out how to just play the game, go through your read progressions, and not see the supernova, that's where Baker has to improve. That's on him. Would we rather have one of the most dynamic playmakers in the world out there on our team on every play? Yeah, we would. But this time away from Beckham is probably going to help Baker immensely. Look at the distribution. Landry with a touchdown pass. Offensive lineman Kendall Lamb with a touchdown pass. Donovan Peoples-Jones with a touchdown pass. Rashard Higgins with a touchdown pass. Nick Chubb with a touchdown run. These are all different ways to score. And really, Peoples-Jones could have had 2 touchdowns yesterday, if we're going to be honest. But, yeah, you re-sign Baker. It's hard to get a quarterback. Look at the past 20 years. The Browns have not been this good since 1994, starting 9-3. This is the first winning season since 2007. Guaranteed winning season. The worst we could finish is 9-7. We're not going to finish 9-7. You're allowed to get excited for this Cleveland Browns team. You really are allowed to get excited for them, and I'll tell you why. You never want to take an opponent lightly. I get that, granted. But let's just recap where we're at, and I'm going to bounce on today's show real quick. Thank you so much for watching. Here's who the Browns have left on their schedule. We play the Ravens this week. That's a big game. Then we get back-to-back Giants and Jets. Giants are division leaders right now, so don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on any team. Look at the Jaguars game, a 2-point game. Eagles was a 5-point game. Nothing's a gimme. We're not good enough to get gimme games. And if you can watch the Chiefs lose a couple, you can watch anyone lose a couple. But let's just be honest with what we have with a few games left. We're 9-3. So that's 12 games in, 4 games to go. Those 4 games are Ravens, Giants, Jets, Steelers. Ravens and Steelers are teams that we lost to previously. Giants and Jets are teams that we have a pretty good chance against. They're not fantastic. Are we an 11-win team? Is it fair to say we might be? What about 12-win team? Can we get one of those against the Ravens or the Steelers? Could we get both? Could we run the table and go 13-3? Hey, I've seen weirder things happen. Why couldn't the Steelers lose a couple in a row? Then the last game of the year, it's for all the marbles to win the division. And a bye, even. Who knows? That's why you play the game. But guys, it's fair to get excited. Our Cleveland Browns are back. Best football since Vinny Testaverde. Really since, probably since Bernie Kosar. And we were little kids back then. So anyhow, I'm excited. You're allowed to be excited. Follow us on all the platforms. The Unhappy Hour. This is a happy hour right now. I appreciate you all, and we'll talk again soon. Take care. I really do love talking to you on Victory Monday. So much. All right, we'll talk again soon. Take care. Peace.
It's the Unhappy Hour.